In 3, 2, 1. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another tenor of FrameCast. We're on FrameCast number 20. Woo! Drew's very excited. I'm glad to see that. He's probably stunned because he saw the new Sonic movie or like the new trailer. How do you like the design?
Oh god, so much better. It's leagues better, and it also feels more jovial. You know, it's just silly in so many places.
Oh yeah, like seriously, the first trailer I was like, no, I'm not watching this shit at all. The second trailer was like, I can see this being like really appropriate as a kids movie, like being a fun comedic kids movie.
I think it's just appropriate as a gamer movie.
Hmm.
You know, I also like the fact that it recognizes he didn't start on Earth, because that was one of the biggest issues I had with the original. I was like, where did this magical hedgehog just suddenly come? So this weird cat thing suddenly come from?
Yeah, CGI.
CGI hell.
I always felt that the Sonic movie and Detective Pikachu were like very closely aligned in the sense of like I feel the folks at Sonic were just looking at it like, yeah, we can do that as well, and then they try to do it, and then like the trailer really failed, and now they're kind of onto the vibe that they should be having. So,
do you know what's really the fact that the director that did Deadpool, the first Deadpool movie, is the director for the Sonic movie?
Really?
Why? Yeah, no, seriously. Why does it sound like I've smoked like 20 cigarettes?
I do not know. But yeah. Anyway, that's interesting, man. I did not know that. Honestly, one of the things which I was at with Detective Pikachu, I know we're talking about movies now, but I really enjoy talking about movies, and it's a frame cast, and movies are on a frame, so fuck it, we're just gonna go on with this. One thing that I felt with Detective Pikachu, and I think that's also the same thing with the Sonic movie, is that the CGI bringing video game characters into real life has always been weird. It's always been like a really tricky road to go down because it doesn't work really. Like, a video game character can work really well, like Mario can work really well inside its own game. But like, what's the story that you're gonna portray? Because let's be honest, all these stories are kind of shit. They're kind of like, they work for a game, but they don't work for a feature-length movie. And then they try to bring things in, and it's like, most of the time, it's like, it's just studios trying to get like this cash grab, like, let's use this franchise and let's make a fun movie. Like, not even fun, just make a well-selling movie. And now...
Okay. I'm going to fight you on this, right?
Okay.
There's two video game movies that I thought were brilliant, right? And there's a few that are just good, but... Right, first off, Prince of Persia, I thought was bloody good. Right? But it barely uses any of the original concept. And then the one that I thought was really bloody good was Warcraft. Warcraft did a hell of a good job adapting the source material.
I have not been able to see that yet. I should.
Oh, it's a good adaptation of the source material, and I really want a sequel. It was I think it's like the fourth most grossing, whatever, like fourth most profitable movie in all of China. The fourth, right? And then they turn around and just like, oh yeah, we're not going to do a sequel. It's like, why? Like it's like, was it tripled its budget? It was like, because it didn't do well in America. Fuck America!
Thank God that we didn't do a podcast like 2-3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago where we're like, you shouldn't care about the Chinese market. Now we're like, fuck America. Look at that progression. We're going so strong, man. But no, I do think that World of Warcraft was like 2 years ago or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Warcraft. And it's World of Warcraft is like 10 years or so after the Warcraft
okay.
Like the original Warcraft game. When I want to say might have been 2016. I don't know.
I remember the trailer being in cinemas, and I remember it airing, and I think that it's definitely like of the last couple of years, maybe 3 years ago, that these video game movies actually got good, because
2016.
before that, like, you had the Mario movie, which was horrible. You had, I mean, you also had like the anime adaptation of like Dragon Ball, which was horrible. But I feel that when I look at the Sonic movie and when I looked at Detective Pikachu, if I looked at like the CGI like things, I was like, this could be really, really terrible or really, really good. But it really depends on the writing. It really depends on the way that it's being made into a movie. Because if you don't do the shit right, like, it's just gonna look weird as fuck. Even the new Sonic design, I still think it's like, it looks kind of strange if you like look at it for too long. So if they start treating it like way too seriously, it's like, yeah, that's not gonna work. But if they keep it light and they just have fun with it, I think it could definitely work. And I'm kind of interested to see it.
No, I'm gonna go see it, and I think I'm gonna enjoy it. So
One point that I actually saw Jim Sterling bring up today, and I'd like to know what your opinion is on this, is that he said that he was glad to see that the design changed, but he was like, if you are willing to change your design after like a week, not even a week of criticism on a trailer, how invested were you in making the best design?
I think the important factor is who your target audience is and what is your target audience saying, right? So if you're trying to target the gamers to leave their nerd caves to to go spend money in the cinema, then I think you have to appeal to them. And if like the entirety of the internet culture reacted to the design of Sonic being, I'm gonna go vomit in my hat right now because oh my god, what the hell have I just looked at? You know, I think they were trying to appeal to a wider audience that could hopefully encourage, you know, kids and things to go see it, or maybe even more adults. But the problem is that Sonic, to everyone's heart, is a more jovial character. He's at no point in time is he Bob Hoskins wearing what's the type of clothes? The overalls. Yeah, he's. I don't know if you recognize the reference.
No, sorry.
The Mario movie, the original
Oh yeah,
Mario
that
movie.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I've seen it on like search for the worst videos. I've never like watched it
no.
entirely, but like I have no interest in. Anyway, let's talk about a topic that we actually have set for this Framecast, which is what is up with all these YouTube shenanigans. Yeah, what's been going on, Drew?
So it's no secret that YouTube have been suppressing smaller channels, but at the same time blowing wind up the skirt of the larger channels. It has been no surprise that they have put in countermeasures for overreactions to content creators doing horrible things, like a Suicide Forest, for example. And a lot of the content creators that are poisoning the well are, they're given a slap on the wrist and then allowed to continue to do what they do while not being stricken off the platform entirely. While at the same time, they are now proven to be choking more mature channels, and their automated regulation system has massively damaged the credibility of the platform on a whole. So last week, Markiplier did was it last week or the week before? He did a stream of his YouTube original project called The Heist, or The Heist with Markiplier. And he was indicating to his audience, just spam an emoji that is red for option 1 and an emoji that is green for option 2. And very quickly, people's Google accounts, not just YouTube, but Google accounts, were getting shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it took about an hour and a half for the message to get through to Markiplier. When they turned around and suddenly said, no, stop spamming. Oh my God, stop spamming. Because it was a huge negative. And it's taken hours. Sorry, not hours. It's taken days for Google to properly address the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken Markiplier to jump in and get the thing resolved. And it is a mess.
It is. It's basically Markiplier came up with a video, I think 2 days ago, 2 days ago, where he explained his story and just put out a video saying YouTube has a big problem, and at the risk of not being able to continue any more of his YouTube Premium series, he kind of called out YouTube on this on the fact that they banned a lot of their users, not just from YouTube, but from everything on Google. So their drives, their email, everything. And some people got unbanned, but then got banned again. And the reason why was because they spammed emotes in chat. So if you've ever been here on Twitch and you've ever like put in some emotes in chat, you know, it can get pretty rough. Yeah, like they didn't like that. And that was something which was one of those actions where you look at YouTube and you're like, well, that's a fuck up. And why are you not on it? Now, they did come around and they did unban most of the people that were banned. Markiplier made a follow-up video where he said that he was contacted by one of the higher-up people within YouTube. They explained the situation. There's also been a Reddit post being made by one of the YouTube moderators or YouTube people where they explain with a couple of points what happened, where that they fucked up and why that happened. So the reason yeah, go ahead.
The big thing was they actually admitted that they had fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have seen other big corporations as of recent who have literally fucked up and have still yet to apologize properly for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Blizzard.
there was that thing. There was the thing before BlizzCon where they, you know, half-assed apologized, but not really.
Yeah, not really. So yeah, I often think when it comes to actually, let's start off with one of the things which I wonder about. If you look at Twitch, right now it's getting a lot more competition in terms of Mixer, in terms of DLive, in terms of other streaming platforms that are coming up out there. And I mean, Mixer has thrown crazy money at like getting other streamers involved, taking streamers from Twitch. I know DLive has gotten PewDiePie, and they're all trying to sell their own platform. Right now, they're like, I don't know how competitive they are to Twitch, but at least they're trying, and there are different options out there and different viable options out there, which has come like in the last couple of years as Twitch grew to not even like close to the size of YouTube. But these competitors spawned up. When it comes on the video sharing service of things, so when it comes to like the role that YouTube fulfills, there is almost no real competitor for people to go to if they don't like YouTube service, is there?
No, and I think one of the problems is that it is so YouTube has a vast monopoly on this form of social media, but the problem is that YouTube's struggle clearly indicates how difficult it is to take over such a system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fact that the software itself cannot make a informed decision, the fact that it can't understand priority, satire, abuse of the content ID system, you know, there are so many flaws with the AI behind YouTube that you can't just say, oh, well, just make a better AI, because effectively you're trying to train, or you're trying to build the brain of a baby to actually understand and comprehend all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to get it to handle tough, complex decisions.
Mm-hmm. So personally, I often have that when you look at situations like, we recently had, I opened up my Twitter feed this morning, and I think I linked it to you as well, that some random person went out and copy striked a channel and took down most of their videos because they set their name in them and they thought that their name was copyrighted. And it's like, well, I mean, the fact that YouTube allows people to do that, like, that is pretty ridiculous. Like, that should not exist. The thing with the Markiplier thing where, I mean, I can understand that bots pick it up, that things are being spammed and being copied and pasted and being sent on like a very high rate in a chat. I can understand that bots pick it up, and then like when they don't come back to those bans, and then when like it takes a while for people to be unbanned, and then people get banned and rebanned, like that's a really weird scenario. It's like how can you do this? Like how can this happen? How can this exist? This world exists where when people just say the words to a song, without even having the song playing, they get demonetized, or like they get copyright, they get copy striked. Those are things which are like so weird if you look at it as an active entity, where it's like, hey, I'm YouTube, and there's like a person behind this wall that is making a decision, an active decision that says, I hear them like say a couple of words from a song, copy strike. However, I think that when you start looking at it from YouTube side of things, and I'm saying this as like a not very successful YouTuber myself, I would say that like it is really, really tough, because if you have, I don't know what the numbers were, but the numbers are, but I know that a couple of years ago it was like 400 hours every minute of content is being uploaded. 400 hours of content is being uploaded every minute. Like being able to scan through them, you can't have a person on that. Like that's impossible. So you need to have some sort of automated system. And like, as you said, those automated systems aren't sophisticated enough. So instead of like always like going for the complaint side of things, I often want to try and look at it like, how would I do it if I were in their shoes? And I don't necessarily know if I could do it any better, other than, well, not necessarily deciding to demonetize certain creators that much, because I really, really like the idea, especially that YouTube had in the beginning, where it was like, you upload whatever, and if people watch it, then people watch it. And if a lot of people watch it, then you get good. Doesn't matter what you upload, as long as a lot of people watch it, there's an audience, because that's the internet. You don't have you don't have like shows, you don't have to pitch your idea to like someone. You can just start creating, talk about like a specific game or a specific niche, and if there's an audience and you can make a living out of that, well, here you go. It's the internet. So how do you think that you would tackle situations like the Markiplier situation as YouTube? So not just like, hey, this is being brought to your attention, but this happens while millions of other videos are happening and millions of other reports are happening. How would you go about a situation like this?
In all honesty, I don't know. I mean, as you, I just double checked. Apparently, the statistic is 300 hours are uploaded every minute to YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that means you would need, because I was just about to do the maths wrong, you need 18,000 people to watch something effectively. So if you got 300,000 every minute, well, you effectively have 18,000 minutes for every minute. So you need 18,000 people at least to watch what's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 18,000 employees is not a small number.
And
Like,
you would actually like to have 3 people watch the same thing, so that you would exclude potentially people being personally like, I don't personally like this. to make sure that they actually enforce the rules. So it's going to be impossible.
Yeah, so now we're talking 54,000 employees, right? Just to monitor the
every
quality of the
minute,
content.
every minute
of YouTube.
just watching.
That, you know, that's got to include. Oh god, it's an insane feat. So I do not envy them in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the faults, the content ID system is definitely a way forward. But I don't think that governments and things are helping YouTube in the slightest, or other
No.
forms of social media. You know, the EU, they've fucking dropped the ball.
Oh
They
man.
just like, you know, they dropped it and they kicked it down the hill, and they're, well, shucks. For those who don't know, we are talking about the Article 11 and Article 13 fiasco that happened. Was it earlier this year? It was
Yeah,
earlier
the
this year,
start of
wasn't
the
it?
year.
Yeah. So it basically makes it impossible for anyone that is an EU citizen to view or create any unlicensed content. Now, this means memes, this means parody, this means everything, right? This is just so fair use is just completely destroyed by these two laws. And it is a fiasco and a half. Are they in effect yet? I can't remember.
They like countries have like 2 years to put them into effect, but I know that there's a lot of countries that like the Netherlands, they don't agree with this, and like I think it will be tough. Like we might see some change in this because basically, as we said before, at the start of the year, Article 13, if it passes the way that it's legislated, then that means that there would be no social media in Europe anymore. Like not even social media, not YouTube, not Twitch, not anything. Because the thing is that the wording of the law is in such a capacity that if I were to upload something that was copyrighted to YouTube, then YouTube would be liable. So the copyright holder could go to YouTube and sue them for money. But that's not just limited to YouTube. That's that accounts to every single place where you can upload something in any form of capacity, whether that's voice, whether that's music, whether that is a live stream, whether that's a video, whether that's text, because you know books are copyrighted too, poems are copyrighted too. We saw people do a copyright strike for their name. It's like not all of them are right, but they can't run the risk that one of them might be right because they could lose a lot of money. So in effect, if this were to be adopted as the law states, we lose all social media and you can't upload anything to the internet anymore. Now that's ridiculous. That is absolutely garbage. I personally am of the opinion that the internet is a worldwide thing and countries don't really have much of a say in it. I think that like we've been fine for years with the internet and like that's all right. But
this is one thing I have never fucking understood about governments. Why do they bloody insist on policing the internet? Right? Oh, we have to make sure that it's suitable for the kids, right? Well, you don't have bloody police officers going up and down the aisles in a cinema to make sure that every citizen there is, you know, of an adequate age, right? You have the BBFC, you have a rating system to make sure that the employees, right, are aware that a person cannot be underage for whatever film unless they're accompanied by adult or they're just flat out the correct age, right? Likewise, why is there not a rating system for the internet? A free system that websites can apply to, right, to have their content verified. And maybe it's a case of they have to have it verified every month or, you know, every week or every year, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then it's a volunteer system, and then you can have internet service providers that they reference this this certification system, and they go, hey, look, this website is unrated, right? Therefore, because of the configuration of your account, which only the adults have access to, then we're not going to feed that information to you. Oh, look, this this is a social media website, right? As such, your account has it restricted, and therefore you're not going to have access to see it because of how you set up the account, right?
Let me bring up the YouTube Kids app. We're gonna talk about this more, but the YouTube Kids app is supposed to be the section of YouTube which parents can. I mean, it's the best parenting there is out there to just like hand your kid their phone and be like, "Watch this."
Oh God!
Just go watch this for like the entire day. But whatever, man. If that's their thing, it's your thing. But like the idea is that like YouTube Kids app, you can just give the kids like the app, and you can just like what they can watch it, and they're all gonna be safe content. Except for the fact that there are some idiots around there who think it's fun to make. No, I'm not even talking about Logan Paul or the Paul brothers at all. I'm talking about these really creepy videos where people get it in their mind. It's like, let me make a video where I'm like, let me go and make an animation where this popular kids figure just like crashes or something, or like you have these really horrible like finger figure animation figures. It's like it was a really big thing like a year ago. I think it's been less like recently, but it's like there are some really weird fucking videos out there that you're looking at like, why the hell would someone even create this and then target this to kids? And these things just slip through the algorithm because they hit the right search terms. Like they're spoken in such a way that it aligns with the kids thing and with like what they're looking for, and then like the kids app will just take it up, and kids will just, they're not necessarily like looking for specific content. It's just an autoplay, and they'll just be watching, and it just pops up. It might scar them. And like personally, I feel that a part of it comes down to personal responsibility. I feel that if you turn on a TV, you're responsible for what comes on the TV to your kid. If you want to show your kid a movie, you buy the movie, and you are responsible for what you show it. It's like the world is out there. The world is always going to be out there in the horrible or great way that it is, the way that you view it. And it's your job as a parent to shield your kids from them. And then these services can help, but it's still going to be the internet. And like, I can understand it's a huge, big issue. I wouldn't know if I was to be a parent, how I would go about with the internet and my kids, because I am glad that I haven't had mobile phones when I was like young and when I was like a teenager. Like seriously, not only could I have figured like looked up so many weird shit when I was like really young, but also I could have like done like just recorded and like kind of like put forever on the internet some really dumb shit that I did when I was like 12, 13 years old, because every 12 and 13-year-old does dumb shit that hopefully people will forget about.
See, this is such a heavy topic because there have been numerous instances where kids have been groomed by individuals on social media to do things that are either too embarrassing to face or the kids don't know better, right? There's actually a scientific study that was done years ago. I will find you the article. A friend of mine knows it, but during this study, they were testing whether or not a child could comprehend perception. So, for example, there was a room, right? In the room, there was a table and 3 boxes. Yeah. A child would be put in the room. An adult would go into the room, put like a ball in the middle box, and then leave the room. You with me so far?
Yeah.
Right. A second adult would then go into the room, take the ball from the middle box and put it in the left box,
Mm-hmm.
and then leave the room. The first adult would come back, and the child is observing all of this.
Mm-hmm.
The first adult would come back in the room and ask the child, where do I think the ball is?
Mm-hmm.
If the child says the left-hand box, the child has yet to develop the mental capacity to understand perception.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is a huge deal when it comes to stunts like Logan Paul. And I'm not gonna attack him the entirety of this episode, but when you have stunts like the whole ransom thing, where
That was Jake
kids
Paul, actually.
was it
So,
Jake Paul?
yeah, that was Jake Paul. So don't worry, Logan Paul. We're not going to attack you. We're going to attack your brothers, Jake. So basically what they
Okay.
did is around Halloween, I think 2 years ago, it was around the time that iDubbbz did the Content Cup on Rice Gum. And then North City made a brilliant video about this. But basically what they did is they had this little, like, storyline where over a couple of videos there would be, like, masked clowns that would go on and, like, hold Jake Paul and the people that were around him hostage, and they would, like, threaten to kill them or something, all in great fun. And there were a lot of kids out there, because their audience is preteens, that fully believed that that thing was real, and that were worried, that were making videos about being worried, that were making videos about someone's gonna call the police, and kids that were genuinely scared. And it was, I mean, I don't know why you would do that, but yeah, that's an example where we know it's fake and it's a bit cringy, but for them it's real.
Yeah. You know, like when I was a kid, I believed Thundercats was real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's really distinctly not.
No,
right?
It is, but like,
You know?
like one of the things which Shane Dawson brought to light a little bit when he did the Jake Paul documentary, even though that was a really good, like, supportive piece for Jake Paul, by the way. But anyway, that aside, he brought to light that, like, there is a lot of advertisement going on there. If I'm honest, I've watched one of the Paul brothers videos. I don't remember which one, but I was like, when they were coming up, I wanted to see what was going on, and I wanted to see, like, what's going on with these guys. And I clicked on a video, and literally in the very first 30 seconds, I had to click off of it because it was like, I'm not kidding. It started off with, what's going on, guys? Today we just dropped some merch, so make sure you check out the merch before you get into the video. Go buy it, and here we go. Let's get started. Hey, how is it going, everyone? We're out here. I'm repping that merch. You can buy it in this link. And yeah, we're going on tour, so check out the tour tickets here. It was like, in 30 seconds, they managed to do like 10 different commercial things where they're like pimping shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I really feel bad if I'm like saying, like, check out my Patreon, because, like, I'm like, I don't want to do that, because I want to create cool content. And they were just doing it left, right, and center. Like, the entire time there was more advertising than there was content. And I'm like, wow, for impressionable kids, ooh, man.
Yeah, it's and honestly, if I ever have kids, I'll have to address parenting completely differently.
Mm-hmm.
I am determined that I will be there for them while they are playing whatever game or they're browsing whatever website. Yeah, okay, I can give them some form of privacy, but at the same time, I need to make sure that they feel comfortable
Mm-hmm.
to talk to me about anything they experience.
Yeah.
Right? I've had numerous instances where, on Facebook, young mums, like in their 20s, early 20s, they're turning around saying, like, the internet needs to be policed, things like this, porn needs to be banned from the internet. It's like, well, how did you make your sprog? Was there not some weird kinky sex magic going on there, or did a stork literally drop it off? Because I know some of you, and I know the weird crap you get into, but so you can't, and likewise, so we have this issue. So I will say the first thing that I would change about YouTube, right? If you want your videos to appear on the kids program, you have to apply, right, for a kids program partnership, right? This is something I would not do personally, right? I can imagine a lot of content creators would not go down this avenue. Any content creator that does go down this avenue would have to be hand-picked to hand reviewed to make sure that their content was suitable, right? Then after that, each video that goes through the system needs to be reviewed, right? To make sure, again, it is suitable. Because like the last thing you want is a suicide forest incident, or I do funny hand-drawn cartoons with Peppa Pig, and then all of a sudden there's some Nazi propaganda on there.
But
So
this is the problem when it comes to YouTube and this way that parents are trying to like make it do like what kids television did back in the day, is that YouTube was about broadcast yourself. It was about you put out whatever you want, and if people want to watch it, they watch it, and like if you get an audience, it grows, and maybe you can earn some money. Like that's how it started out, and like that is the internet. That's the magical thing about the internet. Like something which is so unprecedented in any point in history, where no matter where you are in life, no matter where you are on the world, no matter what your situation is, you have access, or most people have access, to a device that can enter in this world of the internet, and where you can let your voice be heard, where you can put something on there without anyone blocking it, without anyone holding it back, and you can just say or make what you want. And that is what made YouTube great, and that's also what creators and even if I watch things, that's what I desire. I really love channels like Max Mofo or iDubbbz, just because they're making like content which isn't like the PC standard content, and they just making what they like, and I enjoy watching that. But if you want to create a space where kids can watch safe things, where kids can watch things which are approved, that is entirely against this idea what we have with the internet. This idea what we have with like the original YouTube, where like you have user content where people can just upload whatever they want. And now there is a desire for a space where it's pretty much the exact same thing. However, people are approving what's being seen, and that goes back more to what television used to be back in the day. But then on YouTube,
but to play devil's advocate, right? There are plenty of people out there that are trying to create content that is entertaining for target audiences. We create content that targets Warframe, or even just intellectual thought with the likes of FrameCast, right? The big thing is there are going to be individuals out there that are genuinely interested in making content for kids to enjoy.
Yes,
right?
there is.
So I wouldn't hell, if it's like some mother, right? If a mother who enjoys bedtime stories with their kids, right? Just records herself reading. Or, we've got Binging with Babish, right? Absolutely brilliant YouTube channel. He just makes food and puts a hilarious tone on it. That's totally kid friendly, right?
It is.
But
if you put yourself in the shoes of YouTube, like, we already know there's like a really big amount of content that's being uploaded every minute. And like if we take that even from like the entire catalog of people that make kids friendly content, it will not be 300 hours a minute, but it will be a lot. Too much for humans to manage. However, with the system that YouTube has, where people can upload whatever they want, whenever they want, then you can, of course, assume that someone like Binging with Babish, or the mother that likes to read bedtime stories, they will probably continue to do that because it's in their best interest to continue on with what they're doing, or like make a transition to what else they want to do, but do that in a way that they maintain their audience. It would be the wise thing to do. However, by the same token, there is nothing stopping them from uploading something completely the other way. Nothing is stopping them. And that is a problem with this idea of, I feel if you're looking from people, especially like parents that don't want to parent themselves, that want YouTube to do it for them, or people that aren't familiar with the internet as it is, they're expecting YouTube to be a TV station, to be someone that goes over the content and regulates it. Whereas YouTube more emulates the real world where things can appear, and you need to make sure that you are either prepared to face that yourself, or if you want to make people come in contact with that which aren't prepared to do that, that you assist them with that.
So in chat, we have a very obvious point. But Zeno, back when we were kids, it was not kid-friendly as well, and we had no issues, right? Well, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't interested on being on the internet
Nope.
till I was about 16 years old. I didn't play many online video games because the internet connection was so shockingly bad. We grew up in a time where, downloading an MP3 took 20 minutes, or I did at least, right? So, and we're talking like a 3 to 5 megabyte sound file. The concept of, yeah.
I remember looking at the computer and being like, why would people like this? Like, it's boring. And that was like, I had no interest in computers until I was like 15, 16 or something. It's like,
yeah,
the only thing you could do was play perchance, and that's what you did. And if you wanted to go on the internet, you had to use dial-up, and then people couldn't use their phone, so you barely did that.
Yeah. Back at my home, we actually had a dedicated phone line just for being connected to the internet.
Ooh.
And if anyone picked up that phone, oh my God, you heard cursing from my dad's office, right? So, what was the... So yeah, back in our youth, like I was playing on computers from 7 years old, right? With the likes of Doom and, on the Sega Mega Drive, Sonic the Hedgehog, right? But there was no drive to use the internet.
No.
Right? There was no capacity to use it as you can today. And the problem is that when you're a parent, when you first start out as a parent, I'm sorry, you suck. You have no idea what the F you're doing. And you can either try your hardest to get better, or you can just throw them in front of a TV. Well, not throw them, but, you could put the child in front of a TV or an iPad, or, my baby cousin, oh my God, 5 years old and she has her own iPad. 5 years old, she has an iPad.
It's the way it goes. So, like, I actually think that one of the very crucial things, which makes the internet great, but which also is a threat to kids, and is something which the generations before the internet have a hard time understanding, is that the internet is like the real world, in the sense of you have access to everything. You can find every single bit of knowledge that humankind has produced over all its time. Like, that is insane. Like, imagine, like, the Library of Alexandria. Like, that was a huge, big thing, okay? Imagine that being in the hands of anyone ever on this planet right now. Just right here, I hold 2. And, like, I can access the information instantly. That's insane. Like, that has been unprecedented. Not even the wealthiest person on the planet 500 years ago had access to as much information as you do right now in that phone in your hand, or that computer which you're watching right now, where you're watching this conversation on. That is madness. And the fact that you can actually all have a voice and speak on this really big public forum and have your voice be heard, and maybe like make a living out of you speaking up your voice or you making content which you like or whatever. That is insane. Those are a lot of opportunities because it's an open like world thing.
Yeah.
Like you can access everything. But that also comes with problems because like the real world, if you can access everything, you can access all the good things, but you can also access all the bad things. And all the bad things can access you, as well as all the good things can access you as well. So like what it comes down to is that I think parents, which are most likely the generation before the internet, have grown up with the television or have grown up with watching DVDs or watching movies or going to the cinema. And the thing was during that time, you weren't watching everything. You were watching something made for you. It was like you go to a play, you go to a mother telling a story. Like that's what you went to, and that was the thing. Like the mother telling a story wasn't a scammer. It wasn't a link to a porn site. Like because that couldn't be. It was just a person sitting there and talking to you, and you went there and you knew that that was an event, and you went there. It was closed up. That was it. It was a very small segment of the real world that your parents would guide you towards, would sit you down, and you could watch that. Same with TV. Even if some of the shows are a little bit questionable now, kids, if you put them in front of the television for Fox Kids or Nickelodeon, they would be watching brand safe content. They would be watching kid friendly content. They'd be watching content that was approved as a place which was walled off just for them. The thing is the internet isn't. The internet is like the real world. It is literally like you're out there in the real world without any civilization around you, and you have like this beautiful garden where like you have this beautiful place where you can put your kid down. It's like there's a little stream, there's some cute bunnies, and there's some berries. And it looks really great, and like you can put them down. And, like this might be greater, this might be better than you could have ever found in that walled garden of like the cinema or the movie theater or whatever. Like there might be way better content out there on YouTube, but you can't leave your kid alone, because if you leave them alone, like this is the real world, this is the open world. But so like there's nothing stopping a tiger from just jumping in and attacking your kid. And I think that that's the giant misconception between generations that didn't grow up with the internet and now have to like raise their kids in a situation that we didn't even grow up in, where like they have access to everything. And then their understanding of this being, oh, it's just like TV. It's not like TV.
I think that the thing is that there's always the conundrum that any generation of parents have to face, right? Be it what is a television, be it what are video games, be it what is the internet, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I ended up watching The Goonies with my parents. The Goonies is a sort of for the most part, it's a kid-friendly movie for anyone that hasn't watched it. Very old, right? And at one point in time, the older teenage brother of the one of the main protagonists, he ends up getting flack from his mum, and he turns to his mum and just goes, "Shit, ma," because he's getting, and the mum slaps him and says, "Don't talk to me like that." I don't know, I must have been 5, 6 years old. I turned to my dad and I said, "What does shit mean?" My dad handled it by turning to me and said, "It means to go to the toilet." It's literally what it means. He never actually told me, but don't say it. So I don't know, maybe it was the same day. I'm pretty sure maybe it was the next day. I was going to go to the toilet, and as kids do, they do the darndest of things. I turned to my parents and I'm going to have a shit. And the look my mum gave my dad, right, was just like, why did you teach him what it meant? And afterwards, my dad sat me down and said, "Look, shit does mean to go to the toilet, but it's a bad word. We don't use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like from then on, like I had learned that what it meant, but at the same time that couldn't say it, not allowed to say it. You know, he didn't tell me off. He didn't, belittle me or anything like this. There are so many instances in real life where no matter what, if it's generation from 100 years ago or 100 years in the future, there's gonna be those moments of, I'm gonna take a shit.
Yeah, for sure. But like, that's the thing. Is like one of the big problems that I can see raising a kid is how do you bring them up into this world in the best possible way? And there's no way to teach you that. Like, you just have to figure it out. Like, there's no exam you gotta take. There's no classes you have to take. The only thing you have to do is to find a worthy mate that wants to mate with you. Like, that's the only thing you need to do. If you can do that, you can be a parent. It's like, well, it's not that easy. But you can't always shield your children for everything. You can't always protect them from everything. And if you do, like, that's a bad thing. Because if you can protect your child from the world for as long as you live, then that's an amazing feat, by the way. Like, you are really, really capable of protecting him from all the sneaky ways that the world can, like, bring like, bad things to them. But once you fall away, they're helpless. They will not know how to cope with anything. So they're gonna have to fall. They're gonna have to experience things. And, like, I personally know that, like, I'm interacting with more little children in the family now because my cousins are all, like, getting kids. And, like, I personally don't know what to do oftentimes. Because, like, when they catch me saying something like fuck, like, they're like, oh, you can't say that. And it's like, personally, I am of the mindset that intent is the most important thing in everything. Like, you didn't do a bad thing by saying, I'm going to take a shit, because your intent was just to announce, like, hey, I'm just going to go to the toilet. If your intent was, you shit, ma, like, your intent is not, I'm going to go to the toilet, ma. Like, your intent is different, and you should be judged by your intent. So I don't care what words you use, as long as, like, I can judge your intent. But do you really want to teach these words to children? It's like, not necessarily, and I haven't quite figured out why that is. It's like, I don't want to have children say these things, but at the same time, when it comes to adults, I'm of the mind, like, say whatever you want, man. I just judge you by intent. So there are really big issues when it comes to, like, parenting and how you bring children up in this world, and especially now with, like, phones and stuff. Like, I say I'm glad that I haven't had this thing when I was young, because I could have done some really stupid things with it. And, like, we have this thing where, like, we have our version of Santa Claus, and, like, if you Google, like, that, like, does Santa Claus exist, the first thing that pops up is, like, how do you tell your children that Santa Claus doesn't exist? It's like, yeah.
So there are some really fucked up things on the internet.
There are, for sure.
Right? I mean, just look at all of 4chan, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the problem is that there are no safe ways to combat the exploitative nature of bad people, right? There are plenty of people out there that do horrible, nasty shit to try and get away with it. And a lot of the time, they do, right? So if we want to protect our privacy or whatever, it's really in the best interest for services like YouTube, like Twitter, like social media, things that are massive in scale, that are, like, you cannot comprehend. I genuinely wonder what was the first ever video uploaded to YouTube. Does it still even exist?
I think it does. I think if you look for it, you can find it. I think it's by the guys that made YouTube, and just like a video of them talking or something.
But the big thing is that there's such a vast amount of you cannot possibly monitor it all.
But that's
It
the thing
is,
with the world. Like, that is something when children were raised way back in the Stone Age, when there
yeah,
were no cities, when there was nothing, they were faced with this massive world where there were a lot of good things. Like, there were things that brought us to the place where we are right now. There were things hidden in the world and knowledge hidden in the world, which makes us able to communicate miles away from each other. But there were also some really bad things hidden in there. Like, a lot of people have died really painful deaths, just being
yeah.
eaten by animals and dying to diseases. And, like, the fact that, like, over, like about 100 years ago, like, getting a child could mean, like, a very high % chance that your child either died within its first year, or that the mother died when it was being born. Now, those numbers have been brought down so considerably in, like, the Western world that a lot of people don't necessarily even consider it when they're getting a child, that could be a possibility. And it's like an
But
exception. But it happened a lot, and it was
yeah,
terrible.
but moving on now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's in companies' best interests to protect their best interests, right? Be it making content safe for kids, be it making content safe for adults, be it making content safe for their advertisers, right? It is in their best interest, but the solutions should be designed with care, right?
But I don't
At
think you
what point?
can.
No, but I think you can though. Like, what was the intent behind the secret throttling of accounts? Why would you secretly hinder social media without actually informing anyone?
It's the same reason why you would probably want to build up walls outside where people can see to keep out the dangerous animals. They're trying to create the safer place. But you can't never fully control it. So it's like they were probably trying out this system where they could hold people back with this P-score thing, where it's like based on like how your language use, all that stuff. It's like they would have a score, and the score would determine how well your channel performed. And it's like they're trying to do that, but like the thing that I say is like as much as they can try, you can never fully control it, because just like the real world, we're still having disasters and people dying in a bad way to this day. It's like you can't entirely control it. So like it's good that they're trying, but I think that actually, let me bring this thing up. Let me bring one of the YouTube shenanigans up, which will be going into effect on like the year change in 2020, and this could be really bad for YouTube. So we've been talking about keeping the bad actors out, like the way that they've been demonetizing. Like I don't want to say bad actors necessarily, but that's the way that they put it. But like the way that they've been demonetizing vulgar language. I think that I don't care. It's like, dude, like it's the intent. And like if you want to make a video where you say shit fuck the entire time, whatever. Like you put it out there, and if people like it, people like it, people watch it. If the people don't like it, they don't watch it. Then you can't make a career out of it. But if people do like it, frick yeah, go ahead. I mean, only the people that like it have to see it. Like, if you don't want to see it, you can click away. But YouTube has made this thing where, like, the entire demonetization thing, where they're very much against creators like PewDiePie, like iDubbbz, like Max Movo, I Hate Everything, these types of creators, which have their very large, respectable fan bases. But YouTube says we don't want that. However, with this demonetization thing which has been going on, you would expect that you'd be safe next year, or even right now, to start creating kids-friendly content. Make content that appeals to the kids, because they make for a lot of views. YouTube will monetize you. They will push up your videos. Good thing, right? Well, no, because if it wasn't for the European Union, you can also go to America, where America has the Coppa legislation, which is like Children's Privacy Act or something like that.
Oh,
Children
yeah.
Online Privacy something. Basically, it says that that minors should not be collected data from, because like it's really easy to like leak out information, and as we all know, kids like are very don't aren't prepared to be faced with the world as it is, and I think many people don't really fully know what they're giving consent to and what they're giving out. So they at least say you cannot collect information from minors. That's their law. But they're gonna enforce it strongly on YouTube starting 2020. YouTube has already paid a really big fine because what happens is that kids get their phones from their parents and then they're starting to watch videos online on YouTube. But what YouTube then does is follow that account, because that's what they do with all accounts, and follow the account and see what kind of videos they watch. They can have targeted ads be displayed towards the people that watch it, because that's the way YouTube makes money. However, because it's a kid that's watching this time, it's breaking the law because kids cannot be tracked. So they said for every violation, for every video that a kid might watch where there's personalized ads on, you can get a YouTube can get a $40,000 something fine. So basically what this would have to mean is that every video, creators would have to go over every video and take on boxes that this content could potentially be watched by a kid. Because if a kid stumbles upon it, even if you don't target a kid, if it stumbles upon it, it could be a violation of the law. And the problem with this is that, well, it really works well if you are making a channel, like a TV channel solely directed at kids, because you know that kids are only watching that, and all the content you put on there, you know kids are going to be watching that. But as we said, YouTube is like this everything, and you don't know who watches the content. And if parents just give out their phones to their kids, it's like is YouTube really at fault? The parents just hand their own phones to kids. Like, if you don't sign up with the right age in YouTube, is YouTube at fault, or are you? And I get that, I'm really in favor of protecting the rights of children, especially their data, because oh my god, as I said, I'm glad that I didn't have this access when I was a kid. But what this will mean is that there cannot be personalized ads to kids' channels. And the fact is that personalized ads make up 90% of the revenue. So if you don't have personalized ads turned on, way less ads will show, and those ads will almost pay out nothing, because YouTube's big thing is that advertisers don't just blanket advertise, but they can say, hey, I want my ads to run on people that are interested in this. And YouTube says, we can do that. And that's where they make money. So if you make kids-friendly content, or content that could potentially be seen by a kid, say goodbye to your ad revenue. And it's being combated right now because they people brought it up. YouTubers have actually been bringing this up to lawmakers in the US. And these people, the people that bring out these laws, they're actually surprised because they don't know that personalized ads make way more money than general ads, because they don't know much about this system. But still, they're making these laws, just like Article 13, which massively fuck up YouTube and everything and the online world, but they don't know what's going on. And that is so frustrating.
It's actually hilarious. A moment ago, I think it was about half an hour ago, I messaged Michelle saying, I'm going to disappear to go turn on the heating. And I've just been so captivated by the thing, I just remembered, oh, I should have done that. The difficulty is that everything is written by people that are jumping the gun, right? Nothing is truly thought. I've worked with people, we want it to work this way. That's stupid. No one's I don't know if anyone's a developer here, right? I don't know if anyone has done any coding, but I work with a platform called Jira. It is how we track and monitor issues and feature requests and everything like this of when a piece of work is due to go out. Now, on Jira, there was an update. So if you were to put a URL, I don't know, maybe it's just my idiot company had configured it this way, but if you were to put a URL into this system saying there is a fault with this web page, right? the URL appears on the right-hand side of the screen of the content. And it's like, I'm not fucking looking there. I'm looking through the text of the description. Why is it on the other fucking side? That, like, I genuinely had to ask my colleague, hey, do you do you have a link to this fault that I can follow and make sure that, you know, it's working? It's like, it's on the Jira ticket. Oh, what do you mean it's on the Jira ticket? Like, oh my, you know, I lost it. Like, it's so fucking infuriating when things are not conceptually thought out, right? I've got to know, what was the idea behind throttling accounts when, you know, like, oh, we need to make it safe. So why are you throttling my account? Right?
Well,
what am I doing wrong?
Well, see, this is one thing where I don't necessarily like to talk that much about YouTube. I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting conversation, as we're having right now. But I really tend to shy away from talking about how the YouTube algorithm might favor other channels and may not favor mine, because I personally feel if I don't persevere in this climate, then I'm doing something wrong. And if I don't go by that, then like I might as well just sit and complain, and like I'd rather take some actions and adapt and see whether something works. But if I do look at the YouTube algorithm, like I sometimes make some videos where I'm like, well, these seem to be pretty decent videos. Maybe more people could watch them. It's like, why isn't this being watched? And like, you go over to like, you go into a brand new YouTube account, brand new YouTube page without being logged in. You just go to Warframe, like you click on a video, and some videos are just like constantly recommended. Even on like a brand new YouTube account, if you just go to like Old Blood, like you will see a couple of videos which you've probably already seen if you are following Warframe and this new update, and my videos aren't there. And I'm like, okay, well, why isn't that? Like, what am I like? What's wrong with my channel? What's wrong with my videos? But one of the things I think about them is like, hey, well, how many channels are there of my size or around my size, and how many channels are out there? Like, it's a big number. And how many channels are out there that make somewhat related Warframe content? It's like, there might be a lot out there which I don't even know about. So, like, with this massive list of videos, it's like, it might not even be intentional. Like I don't think there's an intent behind bringing your YouTube channel down. It's just that how many channels... Actually, no, hold on. I can actually look up.
I've got a plan.
I can actually look up what your channel rank is, in a moment.
You can?
Yes, I can. I will do it in a moment. But yeah, like I think that it's not necessarily.
Can we do a bit of an experiment?
Yeah.
Can you bring up a web browser, incognito web browser, right? And I wanted to search a term. Right, let's say Warframe Old Blood.
All right.
Right. And I want us to pick the first video that's there. Yeah. So do a search for Warframe Old Blood.
Yeah.
I want you to select the first video that's there.
Which one is that for you?
No. I'm watching you.
Okay.
Right?
So the first video is by Laser Gaming Fuse, Warframe Old Blood brief overview. Posted a week ago.
So click on that. Right. Then it is yeah. Sorry, you're ahead of me. Then skip all the way to the end and let's have a look at the suggested videos.
The suggested,
right? So
okay.
It shouldn't be able to actually guess anything.
Yeah.
Based on any information because it's supposed to be incognito, right? Less it's tracking your IP address, which is about as useful as that. So let the video finish and let's see what YouTube suggests. Right?
Yeah. Most of the time they correlate with what's in the sidebar, so we can say
that's fine.
Yeah. So we've just clicked on a random video if you're listening to this, and we've come to a page, and we've come to the end, and we see a couple of videos at the end here. So what we see is the Old Blood Problems by Broseam. We see Old Blood, new player to Warframe guide.
Right. So let's have a look. Who are the content creators of each video?
Yeah.
right?
So we have
So we see Brozime in the top left. I don't know who is the rest of them.
We have Laser, like the same guy we watched the video from. We have
Yeah.
Tactical Potato. We have MC
Yeah.
Gamer C said. We have
Yeah.
Game Lore Dash with Diablo 4.
Okay.
Then we have another video by the same channel we just looked at. We have Mr. Warframe guy about how to kill Kuvalich. We have
Yeah.
Original Wicked Fun, also about like the same old update. We have What Culture Gaming about 8 secret video game bosses that you must never find. Then we have Nightmare Frame about top 10 must-have melee weapons in Warframe. We have Sonic something of the Warframe guide for new players to endgame, and then we have a Sonic video, like a Sonic thing
From
comparison. Youngie about Sonic movie finds Jesus, internet hails near new redesign in trailer.
Right. So all of those videos, right, apart from maybe the MK1 Bratton build from Laser Gaming, they all have like really, really high views, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, right. Okay. Do you want to take this a little step further? Should we then click on find the one that has the most views and click on that one, right? And then go to the end, and because I'm genuinely interested to see if we can find any of the smaller content creators.
I think that's honestly going to be really hard when the highest view video is a gaming What Culture Gaming video, which is 1.1 million views, which is going to take us entirely
Keep
away
it
from
Warframe. Keep it Warframe. Keep it Warframe.
All right, so
let's,
highest view
was
in
the highest one?
Warframe is Tactical
Yeah.
Potato. So we're going to click on that.
Go to attack.
And we're going to go to the end. But one thing you do have to take into account is that let's see. So we're going to take Potato. We do get Oblate now. We have, which is lower fuse, Iwapli. We have Makari now. We have Triburos, Mr. Warframe guy, Original Wicked Fawn. Now we do get more Warframe related things.
Yeah.
But the thing is that once something gets recommended and people watch it, it's more likely to get recommended more. So it's something that will always continue to go on.
But that is a problem. So if something is popular, its only possibility is for things to become for it to become more popular, right? So anything that is less popular doesn't get a look in.
From YouTube's point of view, is that a problem? Like something that is popular gets more popular. So like the way that YouTube used to work was based on clicks. So like if people clicked on your video, that would count as a view. Now it looks on watch time. So it's like if someone clicks on it and watches the entire thing and it works, then like that's something that people like to see. And like if a lot of people like to see it and still more people get in contact with it and they like to see it as well, and YouTube has served a video which a lot of people enjoy to see. That does like this not account for like the 10 other videos which could have been better, but at least that video served the needs of the people that were watching it.
Did it serve the needs of the people that were watching it, or did it serve the needs of YouTube for them to watch it?
I mean, if you're looking for a video, like if I'm looking for a video, if I'm like browsing in the sidebar and I find a video which I think is interesting, then I'll watch it till the end. If I don't think it's interesting, I'm going to click away. So the fact that it's in there and it's got that many views is because people watched it. And actually, I do have right here, your channel right here up on the Social Blade, and can actually look at your at your rank. So your subscriber rank right now is 721,394th.
Cool.
Your games rank, just in games, you're on the rank of 55,461, and in your country, you're 20,252. So there's a lot of channels above you. And like we also have video views, you're on the 1,293,529th place for video views. So it's the amount of channels that's out there, and the amount of channels with really good content that's out there. Like, it's really tough to give them all a view because they could all deserve that few. Maybe you deserve it more than the person you see right there, but you're maybe you might be unaware of the other channels that are looking at that, which might be smaller, which might be making also cool content.
The difficulty I
Mm-hmm.
have is when there was an article that came out recently about the whole P-score thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? I watch one video of X-Men. God, I can't remember which. I think it might have been. Like, I watched Cinema Sins on X-Men Dark Phoenix. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then since then, I've got videos of any of that cast. So we've got Jennifer Lawrence, we've got James McAvoy, we've got crap, what's the actor for Magneto?
You have them pop up
Yeah.
in your sidebar.
Yeah. But no. This is the homepage, right?
On the
Where
homepage,
it
yeah.
decides to recommend, right? I have them up here, but they are not them from the movies. It is them from things like the Graham Norton Show,
Mm-hmm.
or crap. What's the?
Well, I know that I know that they're doing something to promote more traditional media. Like they've said in their 2018 statement that they're trying to keep at least 50% of the trending page YouTube original uploaded videos, which is like, well, you shouldn't actually be doing that. You should just be going by the amount of views. It shouldn't be based on what people like where it came from. Because I personally think that I don't even look at that, because I think like all that like late night talk show things, like, dude, that's garbage. That's not YouTube. I don't give a shit about that. But yeah, it's like, if I look at content from certain creators and compare it to the content of creators that I'm aware of, it's like I might be like, well, the lesser viewed thing might be better, way better, in my personal opinion, than the thing that's way more viewed. So why isn't this viewed as much as that? And it's like, well, there is a variety of factors at play, but also at the same time, it comes down to, well, it's not just the quality, first of all. It's also like, how much do you upload? When were you there at the right time, at the right place? How original was your idea? Like, if I just take whatever you're doing and I'm trying to one-up it, it's like, yeah, like, it could work, but if you just came up with a brand new original idea, then that has more value in itself, and you build up a community during that time. Like, there is worth in different places than just simply quality. But also at the same time, it's that investing into something which is already successful is a way better investment than investing into something that isn't. And that's not me saying like your videos or my videos or anyone's videos shouldn't be promoted, but I think that you can take this comparison from like, why does my video not get promoted, to something probably Warframe related, where if you're not aware of Warframe, it's like this game, and every year they host their own conference, which is called TennoCon, and for that conference, they invite a couple of their creators to be flown out there, appear on stage, do some activities, and they're being paid to do it, and they're being like, their flights and stays being paid for. And you could wonder why a smaller creator wouldn't be invited to that, even if they could maybe better interact with people, they might be better on stage, they might be better suited in any possible way than the people that are. But the thing is that that is not necessarily how it works. If you have limited money or limited resources to spend, so in Warframe's case it's money, but in YouTube's case it's space. It's like space on the web page, because you can't show a million videos there. You have to show a certain amount of videos. They have to go with what they think will serve you best, because it's in their interest for you to click on a video and watch on. So they want you to see a video which you might be interested in, you will watch in its entirety. They don't want you to click off the website. In the same way that Warframe wants you to come to TennoCon because you might be interested in the creator that's on there. So if they go with someone which might be better but isn't as successful and hasn't established themselves in that regard yet, then it's a risky bet, a way more risky bet than it is to invite someone over that has more numbers. That's not to say that that is the right choice, or any choice is the right choice, or everyone should only watch the most successful channels, because if I'd be doing that, then I'd be shooting myself in the foot really hard. But I can understand where they're coming from, and it's part of the thing that, like, it's a really wide landscape, and you gotta be lucky to find them people, because, like, I know of a lot of creators within the Warframe space because I've made a lot of videos and, like, I've interacted with that a lot of times. But there might be so many more, which I am completely unaware of, just because I have never seen their videos come by, or I've never even seen their names or anything. And I might be completely unaware of them. And, like, that is,
See,
like, the hard thing.
The difficulty for me,
Mm-hmm.
right, is when I discover your video, not through YouTube in any capacity, right,
Mm-hmm.
but through Twitter. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I see you put a video on Twitter. I see that a YouTube bot scrapes it and posts it on a Twitter account, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, this is an interesting thumbnail. I will go click on it. I click on it, I watch it, and I absolutely love it,
Mm-hmm.
right? I thumbs up it, I share it. YouTube still does not show me any of your content.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have given it praise. I don't know if I commented on it. You know, I've done so much. YouTube still will not serve me content that I have shown an interest in.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it shows me content that I have downvoted
Mm-hmm.
and left within, I don't know, less than 10% of watching the original, but not the content that I've watched 100% of.
Mm-hmm. That's probably, I think that you might be better suited to dive deeper into this, but that's probably because of the way the algorithm works, because it doesn't necessarily look at you personally, because it's not a human that looks at you and like, oh yeah, I can see that you like this. It looks at the statistics of how many people clicked on it and how many people watched it all the way through, and what kind of predictions it has for how many times and how long this video will be watched for, which is way higher on a video that's been viewed like 20 million times than my video, which only been viewed like 200 times.
See, logistically, that makes sense, right? You take the image of the whole, right? You look at everyone. Oh, look, this person clicked on a CinemaSins video. They like CinemaSins. We'll serve them more CinemaSins because it is a very highly engaged channel, right?
I think
that makes so much sense, right?
I think that you gotta watch out
is
with liked. I think that you should change that for chance. So, like, this person clicked on a video.
We're talking about the personal liked, right? You know, we are measuring like in a multitude of different ways.
Okay.
Right? So they liked this video. We know they we are 99% sure they liked this video. We will serve them more of this because the whole channel has, I don't know how many followers this channel has. It has 8.72 million followers. Therefore, it is a very likely case that they'll like the rest of this content. And in case of CinemaSins, that is entirely true, right? However, with Mashed, the do you know the channel I'm referring to?
Yeah,
Mashed?
I've heard of them.
They do like like video game animations and stuff like this. I watched a Doom video that I couldn't finish it because I was so bored. It's like, yep, I get the joke. You can stop now. And I watched it once. The channel's got 2 million views, and now I'm getting flooded with bloody videos from that channel. I'm like, but I watched the whole of your 10-minute video? Nope.
I think that, as I said, the algorithm doesn't look for liked, but for like the number, like the chances. So like if in all the cases that someone clicked on a CinemaSins video, the chance that people clicked onwards to another CinemaSins video was very high, in the sense of, I don't think chance is the right word, but it's like they had millions of people click on a CinemaSins video for the very first time, and millions of people continue to watch another one and another one and another one after that. So they have a really large sample of, like, if we serve this one user a CinemaSins video, out of 1 million people, maybe 50 will not click onwards. But the rest of them has, in our experience, always clicked onwards. So we better serve it. We better serve a lot. It's the same case with Mash. The numbers might be less because they have less views than CinemaSins. But still, there's a large case of people that clicked on the very first video of Mashed and then clicked onwards and watched more. Not just because it's like you like my video and you watch the entire thing. It's just that a lot of people did that because they have 2 million subscribers. So already 2 million people clicked on their very first video, then continued to watch more, and then hit subscribe. So they have... Yeah, go ahead.
That works if you do not know the individual. But if you do have some semblance of history of what that individual has watched, you should build a personal model, right? Working with a car, I can't. I'm going to give you a situation from my job, but I'm going to substitute in things because I can't tell you details.
Yeah.
Working with a car dealership website, they turned around and said, we want the most popular cars to always appear at the top of the list. What's the problem with that?
Well, not everyone is interested in the most popular cars. It doesn't apply to everyone.
Nope.
How do you determine the most popular cars?
Nope. You determine the most popular cars by how people interact with that car. Right? The problem is that people will always click on the first fecking result. So whatever the first result is, it will permanently be the first result. You should never make most popular the default, right? You know, price, high to low, user reviews, right? Anything else, never most popular. It is the dumbest thing to do because the first thing will always be the most popular thing. It is like there's cases, there's studies and things where it is seen categorically people do not click on the second page of the Google results. They will only ever look through the first page of Google results, if that. And most of the time, it's only the first result they ever look at. So if the first result is always the most popular, it will never be the most popular. It will never not be the most popular, right?
Yeah.
And that's a problem. You need to tailor your search results on the individual, right? So say that this person, our theoretical customer, always buys motorbikes. Showing them the most popular car is utterly pointless. Dissecting what it is that they have engaged with, working out, right, this person likes content that is 10 minutes long, right? This person likes content that has 2 hosts. This person likes content on video games. This person likes content on PC, Xbox, Switch, PlayStation 4, and even retro stuff. You can build a model based by model, it's a scientific term used to represent an individual, right? Or in YouTube's case, the algorithm builds a model for everyone, right? So one model to represent everyone. You build a model to represent the individual, and then you can guess. You have a better idea of what would interest them. Likewise, you could do this. You can dissect it and just go, this person that has the similar characteristics, right? Liked this video over here by the Game Grumps. We're going to serve this person the same video from the Game Grumps. They did not like that video at all, so we know that this person's tastes for the Game Grumps will not reflect the one we're looking at. Right? So you could take everything, but one size does not fucking fit all.
Well, one thing that I actually remembered just now is that I often watch my videos on my phone, which is not the same account as with which I upload them, just because I want to make sure that they also work on like this mono speaker. And I often also put up the FrameCast just to like listen. It's like, how did we do? Is there any ways we can improve? I'd really love to like rewatch things that I did to see how did I improve? How can I improve? What did I do wrong? And I do notice that if I'm gonna do this live right now. I have my phone right here. It's on my channel. I'm gonna click on the last FrameCast. It's gonna open up, and what we see down here. All right, so right now it's nothing. There's nothing. Brosim apparently just did an interview at DE or something because that just pops up right now. But a lot of times, if I click on a FrameCast, there will be a lot of FrameCasts. Okay, right now I clicked on the second FrameCast. So like, I click once on the FrameCast. I clicked on the second one, and now I'm getting FrameCast 19 being recommended to me. 10 o'clock for free 13.5. So that's your content. Then another FrameCast. Then a Warframe Alchemy of Addiction, which has been like always in there for every Warframe video. Another FrameCast. Then a bunch of like videos that we got recently before that. Then another video of mine. Just because I think it knows that if I like watch one of my videos because like I have some time to like go over them, I'll probably click on another one because I want to like make sure that so this is what I did wrong with this video. Let me check out what did I do with the other.
Which video is that? Because I want to have a look on my account.
So this was FrameCast 18. I first clicked FrameCast 19, and then nothing showed up, and then clicked 18, and then like a bunch of results showed up.
Everything wrong with Geostorm. Everything wrong with Bird Box. Everything wrong with Ender's Game. Everything wrong with Cabin in the Woods. Everything wrong with Limitless. FrameCast 19. Everything wrong with Elf. Like, come on. Like, try and match. Like, okay, you're trying to keep the individual on the platform. Fair enough. I get CinemaSins. I get why you're putting me towards CinemaSins. But that's not the content I fucking watched. I've just gone on FrameCast. Why aren't you recommending me game stuff?
I don't know, man. Like, the thing
but you
is,
get my point.
Yeah. I mean, like, I understand that, like, you're looking for something. You want to see something, and YouTube's algorithms should be tailored in such a sense that they show you what you want to see.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah. It's not taken what you've watched now with more consideration. It's looking more at your history. And if you binge watch CinemaSins, right? Like, often when I'm doing my job, if I'm working at home, I'll just leave something on, like CinemaSins or like Binging with Babish or something, and just let it constantly play, just so I have some background noise, right? If I suddenly get, oh, look, just CinemaSins, like, no, I've just watched a podcast on a video game, recommend me more. I have never had YouTube ever recommend me a podcast. Never.
That's weird because it recommends me a lot of Joe Rogan because I do watch a lot of his podcasts.
Yeah.
But it's also one of the things where I feel if you want to support a YouTuber that you watch or a YouTube channel that you watch and you want to support them, one of the best ways of doing that is at the end of the video, click on like the videos that show, like most of the time people will have at the end of the video, they have videos show up. Click on one of them and watch them if you haven't seen them, or rewatch them if you have already seen them, because that continuous like click through rate is really important when it comes to YouTube's algorithm. That's why, like, if you like watch CinemaSins videos in a row, then like that's why YouTube recommends it to you a lot. So, but yeah, it's like no one knows what's going on with the YouTube algorithm. I think YouTube also barely knows what's going on. And I think it's both a good and bad thing to have, because on the one hand, yeah, like it's weird, but on the other hand, Twitch doesn't have one, or is trying to emulate something, but because of it not really having one, every time the most popular stream gets clicked, and like there is no chance in hell for like lower ranked streams to get up there unless they're being hosted, or people do intend to go down and find them.
I think one of the better ways, personally, to serve YouTube content is really with services outside of YouTube, with things like Twitter, maybe Facebook, maybe Reddit, other places where there isn't a bias towards serving content. I know content creator, I know Loz, he doesn't use the subscribe tab, he doesn't use the homepage. He has a document, a notepad document of all the channels that he wants to follow, and he will just use that document to see whether or not anyone's released content. There have been instances where YouTube just don't serve you, like, you know, for months and months. The Game Grumps have never released a video. Like, you go to their channel. Yes, they have. In fact, there are months worth of videos that you have not told me about. And like more and more people are finding that YouTube is not feeding all the information to, like, you know, someone's released a video, they're not telling people about it. And I feel the best way to get the word out there is for you, the viewers, to share it on social media. If you like the video, share it with people. You know, share it on Discord, share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, share it on whatever you consider the right place to share it. Yeah.
I think that, I don't know, but I think that a part of it also comes down to a creator side of things, because the way that I find a lot of people on YouTube isn't necessarily for like subscription, like the trending tab or the recommended feed, because I don't necessarily go into that, because I very much look up what I want to see. But the way that I discover creators is through them appearing on other people's videos. Like, I don't necessarily think I discovered your channel that way. I think that was more... No, I think the way that I discovered you was because I joined the Warframe fan channel program and then went out to like look for other fan channels, and you were listed as one of them. And then we got talking, and that's how I met you, and I found your channel at that time.
You mean the Warframe Partner Program?
It was called the fan channel back in the day.
It was always a Warframe Partner Program.
Nope, it wasn't. It was called the Warframe fan channel program when I joined, and then they changed it to partner because people thought that sounded cooler.
Okay. I do not remember this.
2016, it was Warframe fan channel program until 2017 when they changed that. But anyway, doesn't matter. But the way that I find is by people appearing in other videos mostly, and like just creators creating something together. And like I'm sure that there will be people that will have discovered your channel for this podcast that we're doing that came from my channel. I'm sure there are people that came from your channel that discovered my channel through us doing this together. But yeah, I feel that a couple of years ago there was still this and like I don't know whether I'm like being nostalgic or something, but I hear more creators say this, that like a couple of years ago there was still this thing where like people were like, hey, I make videos on YouTube and like everyone thinks it's a bit weird, but I just enjoy doing this. And you enjoy doing this. You want to make something together. And people would more often than not be like, yeah, let's do something. Just, you know, bring your camera and let's go shoot something. And Now it's becoming more of, well, let's look at your numbers, and
Yeah.
um, well, I'll work together with you, but you make sure, but you got to make sure that you have your production crew, and you fly me in, you organize my
Yeah.
stay,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And like, I don't know uh, whether like that's me looking at things with nostalgia glasses, but even within like the Warframe community, I remember when we did like for the first time that like charity stream thing where like a lot of people were like introduced to each other, and we introduced them through the partner program Discord. All of a sudden there were a lot of people like, I want to make videos together. And it was like really exciting. And now it's like if you want to approach someone, they're always like
Yeah.
holding back.
It is really difficult because you have to prove your metal in order to actually get the time of day with a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've met a hell of a lot of amazing, cool individuals. The fact that I had Lucas Schumann on Arbiters once, I'm just like, holy crap, that's amazing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the being on stage at TownCon and stuff. It is really rewarding to be involved with people. But I think one of the most rewarding things is being able to talk to other content creators and just sort of like shoot the breeze. Does that make sense?
Oh man, like you're touching on a really, really well walled off thing, which I don't like to talk about. But
We're not, okay, we're not gonna.
I mean, I'm happy to talk about it now. But let's just say like, don't take this as me complaining, because I don't like to complain on air. But
Well,
yeah.
the whole point is, sorry, the point I was trying to make was, just being able to message you and go, hey, let's play some Warframe,
Mm-hmm.
being able to just chat about random stuff, being able to work on stuff together. It's great, right? Being able to, like, you
Mm-hmm.
sending me messages about, hey, look what YouTube's done
Yeah.
again, right? Being able to
Mm-hmm.
message each other like so liberally is great
Mm-hmm.
because we have similar interests. We get it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I would say that one of the greatest challenges when it comes to making or creating a YouTube channel, and this comes from someone who's actively gone over the past few years and decided to like go on full head on this, even though it hasn't really been all that profitable. Um, One of the greatest challenges isn't coming up with content, isn't being creative, finding a way to be creative or anything. It's that I don't think there is any other profession in the world where you are as alone as being a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer. And that's not to say that this is why I don't like to talk about it, because it comes off as very complaining. And like I don't want it to be, because like I don't want you to interpret it as like, oh, like is me watching you not good enough. It's like, no, I really really appreciate everyone that's watching my content. I really appreciate you guys being there. The thing is that every other profession you kind of either go to school for, or it's like you join the company, or you start it together with someone, and you have someone or multiple someones in your direct vicinity that do what you do, and that might have a higher degree, like higher expertise in what you do, or lower expertise, but you can interact with them and you can bounce back with them, and you can go on, like if you're not feeling well or like you're a little bit less motivated, they can pull you up and you can pull them up. And this interactive level of peers around you is something that barely exists in YouTube, because how many people do you know that live in your immediate vicinity that do YouTube? It's not a lot of people. It's like there's a lot of people worldwide, but it's not. There's no school for going for being on YouTube. There's no clubs. There's nothing. There isn't. It doesn't exist, because most often than not, it's just people that started out making videos in their bedroom, like I'm doing, and they got big or they didn't. But that's the way it starts. It's a very individual kind of thing. However, there are more like independent and freelance type of jobs where, people just work by themselves. That does exist. But the difference between that, I feel, is that if you are trying to become any profession, you can go ahead and write someone that is within that profession broader experienced and be like, hey, I'm interested in becoming what you do. Could you give me some pointers? Or like, hey, could you give me some tips? Like, maybe could you show me around? And most often than not, if these people have the authority to do it, they will, because people love talking about what they do. But this is the thing when it comes to YouTubers and Twitch streamers. It's that, number one, a lot of people you don't know about, you don't know that they exist. And number two, if you do know about them, most of the time, they're of such a size that they have blocked off every single possible avenue of approaching them because they're afraid of people spamming them. They're afraid of people, like, begging them for things. I can understand that you do that, but there is no way of getting in touch with them other than being successful. And that is something which I believe, or I've come to experience, is like the greatest challenge of doing YouTube. Not the creative thing, not the creative challenging, the creative blocks, or the financial challenge. No, the greatest challenge is that it is so goddamn hard to find peers.
I think it's depending on the generation, right? I think that when I went to university, I met, like, so at the university we had societies, and one of them was Anime Society. When I was living back home in the arse end of nowhere, there was pretty much just me, and then my friend who lived about half-hour cycle away, and then the next closest was half an hour in the car, right? And the big thing is that now anime is a hell of a lot more popular, right?
It is.
It's, even kids in schools watch anime, right? They watch Dragon Ball Z or Yu-Gi-Oh or what the F ever, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I went to university where I went to Anime Society where there was this room full of about 30 weebs that, like, I was just like, holy crap, this is what it's like to feel part of a people, and I think as time goes on, more and more people will look to do things like content creation, like TikTok, right? I don't know if you've ever bothered with TikTok, right? Not to actually participate in it, but there are, like, oh wait, you can see my phone.
Yeah.
There are just like loads and loads just on TikTok, just doing random crap, and like I can easily envision that there are going to be more and more communities that will form around us for social media content creation.
I hope so. I think that one challenge you do have to overcome is that when it comes to people loving anime or people loving games, it's like people are happy to talk about that with fellow people because it's like sharing like what you enjoy doing. But when it comes to this thing, like you also have this weird thing, like you also have this other side to it where I remember when I got more acquainted with like the Warframe community and the Warframe creator community, I got in touch and on very close terms with people that were of considerable higher sub counts than I had. But I didn't think that mattered. They didn't think that mattered because we just enjoyed playing Warframe. We enjoyed talking together, and we were just going out together, even at TennoCon. And I remember someone coming up to me at TennoCon saying, dude, you did really well. Like, you got yourself in together with these people with really high sub counts. You're going to rise. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? That's like, why the hell would I want that? They're people. I care about them as people. And that's the thing where it's like, if you're trying to set up like a community as such, like if you do it for anime or for Warframe or for any game, like that can work. But here people are really held back because they feel that if people are reaching out to you, they might be trying to take something from you. And like I've had it when we were trying to do the Warframe fan channels Twitch channel thing for like events. It was really hard to like keep that active because everyone's like kind of watching each other to like see where they can benefit from themselves and where they can take like use people to get themselves higher. And I've also seen it with Casey Neistat, one of the bigger YouTubers on the channel on the platform, has recently or like this year launched something called 368, which he says is going to be like it's a space in New York where creators can come to and they will have facilities to use where they can podcast, where they can create videos, and it basically will help creators that are growing to make better content. And they've also launched a Discord with that. But the thing is that Discord is exactly the same way that the Warframe fan channel's Twitch channel Discord was like. It's just silent and empty because everyone's just like watching each other and like doing nothing. And I've tried to like with both of these Discords trying to like do something, but like most of the time like it's really hard to set something up because people are really like not very trusting of anything and they don't want to like burn their hands or get involved in something if it doesn't immediately benefit them. And that's like
it's difficult. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
more and more content creators these days are isolating themselves. You know, they fight anything and everything. They don't come together.
It's a high
And I can,
school.
yeah, it is. Fucking hell, dude, life is a high school. And I feel that there is a lot of room for growth
Mm-hmm.
in these situations. But the problem is, it's a lot of it comes down to finger pointing, toxicity, than actually coming together to think of solutions for the problem.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Questions.
Yes, questions. I don't know how many we have. What do you think? So, Ricky7 asks, what do you think YouTube will need to do to harm itself enough that people will find another platform?
There needs to be another platform to begin with because right now there isn't.
There's nothing. Yeah. I think the big thing that YouTube needs to do is start indiscriminately shutting down people's accounts and being silent about it.
Oh, if they were to like randomly ban entire Google accounts, then that would be really really tough because like people put a lot on like Gmail and Drive. So
yeah,
but still I can like it's like people would rather than not watch with an account, but they would still come back to YouTube because there is no other platform. And the reason
say there was another platform when Shy's account got shut down and she turned to quite shallow, you know, I'm pretty sure at that opportunity she would have gone to another platform.
Yeah.
Right.
And Markiplier the same way. If Markiplier Markiplier had his account shut down, if he could have gone to another platform, he would have. And maybe even now, with like his people being banned for a live stream, he might have gone to another platform, but there isn't any. PewDiePie the same way. The way that he got demonetized. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think that YouTube would ever let that happen with the accounts in the millions because it would be just too damaging for them. They have to keep the millions accounts happy, but it's the thousands and lower that they don't need to care about. Or they feel they don't need to care about.
Yeah.
Right. Ricky7 asks, what kind of platform would be needed in order to compete effectively with YouTube? To be honest, just another YouTube would bloody do the job. I mean, the competition crap, drives improvement. Crap, what was the? I can't remember what the saying is. But basically, if you have a monopoly on the system, there's no reason to improve. I mean, people have compared. Oh yeah, having competition with Epic Game Store will drive Valve to actually improve its service. They've done nothing, and Epic Game Store has just floundered. You know, but the sentiment is true though.
Yeah.
Right. Ricky7 says, will Michelle Postma make more videos like that last awesome video? There you go. Last awesome video.
Yay. I'm trying something new for the months of November and December. That video should be out either tomorrow or like Wednesday or Thursday. I wanted it to be out before this FrameCast, but like this weekend was swept away by very unforeseen circumstances. So that's coming out. And yeah, there will be more. I hope you guys like them. I appreciate it.
I'm sure we will. Arteria Faith says, so the partner community are just out for profit now instead of fun like it used to be. The problem is it's not profit. It's a lot of these things are people's income, right? I can sit here and be a tosser as much as I want, because at the end of the day, if I got cancelled, it's nothing to me, because I still have a job, right? I still have an income that pays. I don't want to get cancelled, but I can easily survive it. Whereas there are loads and loads of people out there that would just if they got cancelled.
Yeah. And part of it is also that a lot of these people operate with a fear of being used, or like the thing that I encountered is that there are a lot of cases where if people just talked, things would be resolved, but people don't just talk because they're not in the same room together, and they never are. So a lot of times, as an example, I won't name any names, but as an example, I met a creator that was really upset about DE supporting, in their eyes, a certain creator, and if you weren't on board with DE and that creator and what they thought, then you would always be neglected. And I personally thought that, well, I told them you should probably speak to them because it's probably not that way. But they never did, because they had convinced themselves that was the case, and they were looking for the signs, and they saw it. Because if you're looking for something to reinforce your opinion, you will find it. You can easily neglect it. And if you never have to speak to that person, then you don't get their side of the story. And if you send them a text message, then they can ignore it. And if they ignore it once, then they'll probably ignore you forever. And that might be just because of random circumstances. But that makes things way, way harder.
There's a brilliant skit by, I'm pretty sure it's College Humor. If what if YouTube was a guy? Sorry, what if Google was a guy? And basically there was this guy in an office, and people would sit down and ask him questions, right? And this one person, this one character, turns up and goes, was it vaccination causes autism? Right, that was the question. Or does vaccination cause autism? And Google turns out, I have 1.8 million results says it doesn't, and one result that says it does, right? And the person took the result and says, it's like, I knew it. And like, so it's like 1.8 million says it doesn't. So, and it's true. Like, if people want to believe something is a case, like my mad conceptions of how YouTube does its search algorithm bullcrap, I mean, who knows? But yeah, right. And Arteria Faith asks, isn't BitChute an option? I'm ignoring your other question. Isn't BitChute an option? In all honesty, I don't know if BitChute has the complexity. I mean, like, does it have the viewership that Twitch or YouTube has?
That's the hard thing when it comes to YouTube is that like it is available on every single Android phone that you buy because it's in the Google suite, so everyone knows about it. And you're seeing it right now with Mixer, which is like trying to be a competitor to Twitch. They're having a really hard time, even though they're buying up so many top streamers from Twitch to go over to that platform. They're trying to make it more appealing. But even now, starting out on Twitch is already rough to do. If you started on Mixer, it's way harder to do because it's just a lesser known platform. And like they're improving that, but it's a really long road to do that. And unless I could potentially see something happening if a bunch of the top creators of like of YouTube, or like a bunch of like really well-known creators of YouTube, decide to go out and create something together with this with a company that wants to create a competitor to YouTube, and they sit down and they create something, and they plan out something which works for creators, which works for advertising, which works for users, and then they all move over there in a big publicity thing, then that might have a chance of working. But that just might.
Yeah. Right. Okay, I think we're done for questions. I think. Having a quick look.
We're also about 2 hours in, so.
Yeah. So we're going to call it there. And yeah. Whoa.
Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I hope to see you guys back all next week for episode 21 of the FrameCast. And yeah, if you want to find the highlights, they'll be on youtube.com/CasinoGaleon by the end of the week. This thing will be live on youtube.com/PostmaLoneGames tomorrow. And it's always streamed live on Twitch.tv/MishaPostma. I think that's everything we say at the end of it. But yeah.
If you want to support this lovely, long-locked individual, this Thor-like character, go to patreon.com/MichellePostma.
And if you want to support the beard, which sometimes tends to have glitter in it, and collects toys, it does.
No. That was a one-time deal. Not going to happen ever again.
If you get him to $1,500 a month on Patreon, he will. Support Casino on Patreon, patreon.com/CasinoGaleon.
No, it won't.